Hello everybody, welcome to part 2 of my How to Survive Hardcore on Path of Exile guide. I just finished farming the ledge until level 11, and see the passive skill tree that I've chosen. I went, like I said in the past video, I'm going to go straight into resistances. So I went for diamond skin. I'm going to wrap around and get 12% additional to all resistances, which will put me at 27 by default. We are now in the climb, which should be a typically easy map to run through, and I will be back once we enter the prison. Alright guys, we just entered the prison, and the mission for the prison is of course to get to the warden's chambers and kill Brutus. I recommend that you put on your fire defenses right now. It's not necessary on the first playthrough, but it does help quite a bit. If you haven't been lucky enough to obtain any ruby rings, what you can do, teleport back to Lion Eye's Watch. You're going to want to run up to Nessa, and you're going to give her a quick trade. And generally she will have an assortment of rings, which are fairly cheap. Alright, so for demonstration purposes, I will go ahead and buy a couple of these. I'm going to buy the highest resistances we can get. So I'm going to get the 27, and I'm going to get the 28. Alright, so here we are back at the lower prison. We're going to go back to our inventory, and we're going to throw on these 2 rings, which with our current passives is going to give us a 82% overall fire resistance, which is always going to reduce down to 75, but that's okay. With the gear that you have right now, you should still be able to one-hit basically any enemy that's in here. Well, not any enemy. Most of the small mobs take one hit. Just as shown. When you're playing as a defensive character such as this, you don't really have to worry about dying too much. The only problem is once you get to higher levels, your DPS kind of drops off a little bit. But I'm going to show you guys how to take care of that. Alright, so this is pretty much how this entire map is going to go until we get to the warden's chambers, and I'll be back. Alright guys, this is going to be the fight with Brutus. And if you're new to this fight, I recommend that you throw down a portal. You're probably not going to need it, but just in case you panic, just click on that portal to be safe. You'll head back to Lion Eye's Watch. You can come back and continue the fight at any point. But basically with this fight, all you're going to want to do is just run around. Just kite him down. If you're following the same build as I am, you will most likely be too tanky. You could probably just face tank him like this. And actually be completely fine. Yeah, he cannot out DPS you. But yeah. So that fight is extremely easy if you're playing an HP tank like this. Always remember to grab your rare items, because you can start trading them in for just currencies. They did change the currency for, or the recipe for chaos, which was kind of bad. I don't really like that too much, but it does kind of balance the game out. You can't just turn in level 10, level 12 rares and get chaos anymore. So we're going to continue this after I teleport back and put these in my stash. Alright, while you're back in Lion Eye's Watch, talk to Tarkley. I already did this, but turn in the quest, and you will be able to get the Molten Shell, which is going to be vital to, as one of your defensive abilities later on throughout the game. You're going to chain it to cast when damage taken, which is going to be one of your most important survivability gems. So I'm just going to come back here, loot this, and we will continue on. We're going to get to the prisoner's gate and tag this waypoint. I think it's actually already opened, but we'll see. Yeah, it's already open. Okay. So you're going to want to keep your fire resist rings on, because the wolves here do explode, which deal a little bit of fire damage. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. As I said before, this build is very tanky. So I'll get back to you guys after this map is cleared. Just a tip while running this map, you might run into the Guardian of the Mound, which has the lightning strike ability, which can in fact do a lot of damage and possibly kill you if you aren't careful. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to wait until all 3 of the lightning spots are marked, and on the 3rd one you're going to want to move. So 1, 2, 3, move. Lay down some DPS, 1, 2, 3. And the reason for that is all of them explode at once. It's a on 3rd cast ignition, which basically means as soon as the third cast is set, they will all explode at the same time. And while I see the Sapphire Ring, I'm going to go ahead and pick that up for later, for when we get to Merville. Just the tip, guys, this is very vital if you're going to be surviving through a hardcore difficulty. You are going to always, not so much in these lower levels, but once you start hitting level 30 areas, you're going to always want to identify your strongboxes. A lot of people don't even know that you can identify strongboxes, but yes, you in fact can. You're just going to want to take one of the Scroll of Wisdoms, use it on here, and see the effect. A percentage of the time there'll be a freeze effect, or a poison effect, or a bleed effect. You need to know what the effect is going to be to have the correct flask to prevent yourself from basically dying in one little hit. So yeah, as you can see at levels like this, it's not too big of a deal. There aren't really any status effects or crowd control that you get hit with, but it's just a good habit to start forming. Alright guys, thank you all for watching my part 2 on how to survive Path of Exile on Hardcore. I know this video was cut a little short, but I'm running a little low on time right now. This video is probably already hitting 6:30 or 7 minutes. I'm going to try to keep these a little short, and I'm going to start cutting to the chase a little more in the next episodes to come. In the next episode, we're going to talk about how to get to Merville's Cavern, and the correct resistances to run through that level. Current passive tree right now is I ran through Diamond Skin for the resists for early game survivability. I'm going to go through armor, get this last note up here. We're going to come back through, get some life, Heart of the Warrior, and we're going to go into Born to Fight. That's going to give us the last little bit of DPS we're going to need to get through the first playthrough. Like I said, next video should be a little more informative, a little faster as well, and we should get a lot more done. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day.